Chris, last, I guess, official practice of training camp here. How did everything go from when you started 3 weeks ago?
Well, I mean, again, we're farther along than what we were. We're fortunate to have been able to get all the things that we were able to get into with all the stuff that went on early. But I thought the guys responded a little bit better today than they did yesterday. We had very few mental situations, So again, it's exciting. I just talked to them about going and playing a good football team in Calgary that plays very fast. It's very confident, and so I'm glad that we're playing them.
How much does actually playing here in the preseason? And I know you weren't coaching last year, but could you imagine not having that sort of preseason?
Yeah, I mean, again, like we talked about yesterday, I mean, not having a preseason, I mean, it's hard to evaluate guys. How do you send a guy home or cut a guy if you've not been under a truthful evaluation, And I've had plenty of people in the past look great in practice. As quick as you turn these lights on, it's a little different story. So they play the games for a reason.
Well, now how much of the final evaluation here is going to be dependent upon this game, right?
Yeah, we've still got a lot of decisions to make and kind of pecking orders, to set our final roster. We met this morning, the trainer, myself, G. Roy, we all met this morning and talked about our roster for 2 hours, early this morning before we even started, and so it's a critical part.
Did you game plan more for Calgary than you did?
No. There's no game plan involved. It's just pretty much can they man cover, who can rush and who can tackle and, who can run a route, catch a ball, and which quarterback can get them out of the huddle and throw and catch. That's essentially what we're doing.
More important about getting each guy, their opportunity to do what they can.
We can't cloud the evaluation process with trying to, win the game, that type of thing. Are we going to – I've never played a game, didn't try to win, but at the same time I've got to come out of the game with a good, firm, solid evaluation of everybody on our roster.
You say you still got decisions to make. I guess that's good, right, that the competition's been there and there hasn't been separation until this point?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, if you make easy decisions when it comes to professional, personnel, I mean, you're not doing your job. If it's easy and you're making out your cut list, then you probably didn't do a good enough job in the personnel aspect.
Chris, what have you seen from young Thomas Costigan coming into his second year?
He's a really, really good football player, and I think he's kind of exceeded where he was a year ago. And Maxie said that he's much more comfortable in who he is, and all you see him, you never hear a word from him, but all you do is see him just win on just about every snap. So I mean, he's a solid football player.
And Maxie, just having a little bit of that carryover, that continuity, does that help you as the coordinator of this defense?
Well, whether it does or not, Maxie's a great football coach, and again, I've known him, since 2008, and he was involved down in Calgary, and he does an excellent job with those guys, coaching them and teaching them.
Like mindset as yourself?
Oh, yeah, he's tough-minded and wants things done the right way, and he's a guy you have to pull him back rather than push him, and so that's what you'd rather have.
You talk about Costigan. I know, I think it was last offseason, he trained with Serezna a little bit. They seem to work really well together last year when they got in the lineup together. You see that again this year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're very much alike. I mean, you don't hear much from them other than them just working their butt off. They're at every meeting early and they stay late, and they're always in the weight room. I mean, they're two dependable players.
Did Costigan have the ratio working against him a little bit last year? Would we have seen maybe even more?
I don't know. I wasn't here, so it's hard for me to say. I mean, I had enough things going on in both countries. So it's a situation where I just worry about what we're doing now. And he's done nothing but really good things for us.
Chris, there's final preseason game, but do you see some of these battles for at least starting jobs continuing well into the regular season?
You know what? You always play the best player, and when you don't have a clear-cut number one, when you have, get this competition breeds, really good football, and so the more guys that you can bring in and compete for a job, then the better you're going to be.
Is that true, the quarterback position? I mean, it's up a little bit.
I think so. I mean,
is that going to be a battle that's going to continue through the season?
Iron sharpens iron, and that's kind of what been my motto at just about every position, if not every position.
Heard you mention a couple of times over the years that training camp's your favorite time of the season.
It is.
Last day of camp today. Is Chris Jones kind of sad?
Yeah, I hate it. You don't just go to the hotel and sleep 6-7 hours and then come back and get free food and coffee and film all day. I mean, there's other things that are unfortunately involved, and so. But it's been a really good camp. I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed this group. It's a group where you don't have a lot of issues outside of the realm of football. It's not like you're sitting there and having to babysit. Like you have to do sometimes.
Do you get excited too for next week? I mean, you turn the page, right? You start to game plan more. You're looking at other teams more and everything. Does it get your juices going?
Oh yeah, I mean, again, that's why you do it. Is to compete. The game days are the most fun part of what we do. We do all this work just to live for 60 minutes. And it's fun as a old coach like myself too.
You've taken this team and you're. I know we still have a preseason game to go, but I know coaches like to say they take things game by game, but is there a number in your head? Do you think we want to be this much better this year? We want to win X number of games?
Yeah, no, I mean, I subscribe to that first thing. I mean, I don't even know, what day we play next week. I mean, it's pretty much handle business right now, and then we'll turn the page, next week.
Chris, you've been cutting the practices a little bit short at the end here. Have these guys been responding to that the way you want it?
Yeah, again, we lift every day. You see these guys, we're lifting. I told them, I said, we're never going to forsake the weight room. We're going to be in the weight room. We're going to be strong. We're going to be in shape. We're going to have, the bumps and bruises that you get. I mean, you're going to be able to work some of those out. And so we're never going to forsake the weight room ever.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all.